With Kody's money running dry, rumor has it Robyn is secretly texting her ex-husband to plot her grand escape. Just let that sink in for a second. We are watching the complete and total collapse of the Brown family empire. And right now, the internet is absolutely buzzing with the most poetic, mind-blowing plot twist we have ever seen in the history of sister wives. And by the end of this, I am going to show you the one forgotten detail from Robyn's original divorce decree, a piece of legal history that almost nobody noticed, that changes how you see this entire story and makes this wild fan theory sound chillingly realistic. But to get there, we have to start at the beginning, because the walls are finally closing in on Kody Brown, and Robyn is known for having a survival instinct that kicks in the second the bank accounts start running on empty. Just last month, in June of 2026, an old, resurfaced photo of Robyn's ex-husband, David Jessop, started trending out of nowhere on Reddit. You know how the Sister Wives fandom works. Nothing is ever truly buried, and the internet never forgets. But this wasn't just a random trip down memory lane. This photo surfaced at the exact moment that Kody and Robyn's financial reality has become impossible to ignore. We all know that without the incomes of Mary, Janelle, and Christine, the Coyote Pass dream is dead in the water, and Kody's massive spending habits are catching up to him. He is financially devastated. And now here is where fans on Reddit start to wonder, what is Robyn's exit strategy? She didn't sign up for poverty. She signed up to be the favorite wife of a reality TV patriarch with TLC money flowing in from 3 other working women. Now that the money is drying up, fans are theorizing that Robyn is quietly trying to make amends with her ex-husband, David Jessop, keeping a back channel open and manipulating her way back into his good graces just in case she needs a landing pad. Nobody has confirmed that Robyn is packing her bags to move back to Montana, but the timeline and the behavioral patterns are really hard to ignore. Think about it. Robyn has historically shown us exactly who she is when she feels financially insecure. And to understand why she would ever reach out to the man that Kody so desperately tried to erase, we have to recap the dark history of Robyn's first marriage. Because if you want to know what Robyn is going to do tomorrow, you just have to look at what she did yesterday. This is documented. She said it herself on the show in those early seasons. Robyn came into the Brown family claiming she was broken, financially ruined, and traumatized by her first marriage. She painted this picture of David Jessop as the ultimate villain, the man who left her with massive debts, including all those infamous Victoria's Secret credit card bills, and forced her to be a struggling single mom living in a wood stove cabin. She used that narrative to make Kody her knight in shining armor. Kody literally swooped in, paid off her debts using family money, and elevated her to the status of the legal, protected wife. But hold that thought, because it matters later when we look at the actual legal documents from that divorce. Because what Robyn told us on television and what the court papers say are 2 very different things. But let's look at what Kody did once he had Robyn secured. He didn't just want to be a stepfather to her 3 kids, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. He wanted to completely rewrite history. And this part is absolutely wild when you look back at it now. Do you remember the legal adoption saga? It is one of the most controversial, manipulative storylines TLC ever captured on camera. Kody literally divorced his first legal wife, Mary, the woman who helped build the entire family, just so he could legally marry Robyn. Why? The stated reason was so he could legally adopt Robyn's kids and ensure they would stay with the Browns if anything ever happened to Robyn. But what it really did was systematically wipe David Jessop off the map. Kody pressured David Jessop to sign away his parental rights, and we saw Robyn on camera, crying, complaining about Kody, complaining about the stress of the adoption, but ultimately pushing for this total erasure of her children's biological father. And who could ever forget the painting? That is a moment burned into the brains of every single Sister Wives fan. Robyn actually commissioned a portrait where she took an old photograph of Kody as a young man and had the artist draw Kody into a picture with her 3 children when they were babies. She literally painted her ex-husband out of their history and pasted Kody's face over him to create a fake timeline where Kody was their father from day one. It was unsettling, it was bizarre, and it showed exactly how far Robyn and Kody would go to control the narrative and completely sever David Jessop from the family tree. So why on earth would fans think Robyn is texting him now? Well, we will come back to who might be facilitating that communication, but first, let's talk about the absolute poetic justice of this fan theory. If Robyn is truly planting seeds with David Jessop, testing the waters to see if he would ever forgive her, or even just trying to build a bridge so she has an ally outside of Kody's crumbling empire, it would be the ultimate betrayal. But it would be the exact same betrayal Kody inflicted on his first 3 wives. This is the karma that everyone has been waiting for. Kody abandoned Mary, Janelle, and Christine emotionally, and in many ways financially, for years, all while showering Robyn with resources, million-dollar homes, and legal protection. He betrayed the women who built him. And now, the woman he burned his entire family to the ground for might be preparing to leave him the exact same way. Imagine Kody Brown sitting in a house overflowing with Dickens Village collectibles and expensive art, totally isolated, realizing that his soulmate is texting the one man he hates more than anyone else in the world. The man he tried to paint out of history. And here's how the back-channel theory actually works, because fans aren't just making this up out of thin air. There is a very real connection that Robyn could be exploiting right now, and this part is rooted in the reality of the kids' lives. Dayton, Robyn's oldest son, has historically been the one who was most connected to his biological roots. Even after the adoption, rumors and fan sightings over the years have strongly suggested that Dayton has spent time away from Kody's strict rules, sometimes out of state, and some fans deeply believe he has sought out a relationship with his biological father, David, now that he is an adult. Dayton is a smart, independent young man who has clearly seen the chaotic reality of living under Kody's roof. If Dayton has opened a line of communication with David Jessop, that gives Robyn the perfect, innocent-looking excuse to get a message through. Now, nobody has confirmed this is happening right now, but the timeline is hard to ignore. When Kody starts ranting about the family betraying him, and Robyn starts doing her classic on-camera sobbing about how hard it is to be married to a man who is constantly angry and losing money, fans know the playbook. She starts acting like a victim of Kody's circumstances. She starts laying the groundwork for her exit. And what better way to secure a safety net than to quietly reach out to the ex she destroyed, apologizing, maybe blaming Kody for how the adoption went down, and playing the victim all over again. You have to remember how Robyn operates. She never leaves a situation without a branch to swing to. She secured Kody while she was technically still untangling her life from David. And the fans digging through these June Reddit threads are pointing out that Robyn has been incredibly quiet publicly. We haven't seen her out parading around with Kody acting like the happy honeymooners lately. Instead, we hear reports of financial strain, we see them downsizing their lifestyle, and we see Kody looking more miserable than ever. And this is the perfect breeding ground for Robyn's old games to resurface. But I told you at the beginning of this video that there was a forgotten detail from Robyn's original divorce decree that makes this whole texting theory incredibly believable. And this is the payoff you have been waiting for. For years, Robyn spun this narrative on television that she had to bravely walk away from David Jessop to save herself and her kids. She framed it as her taking the initiative to escape a bad situation. But when fans and investigative journalists actually dug up the court documents from their 2007 divorce, a completely different reality was documented in black and white. It was actually David Jessop who filed for divorce from Robyn. She didn't bravely walk away, she was legally served by him. And even more shocking, the decree proved that Robyn was the one ordered to pay off a significant portion of their joint debts, contradicting her narrative that he just dumped all his financial ruin onto her lap. But here is the most crucial part of that document, the piece that ties everything together today. Because of how the debt and custody were initially structured before Kody's massive TLC-funded buyout, Robyn was forced to maintain an ongoing, legally binding line of communication with David for years. She knows how to navigate him. She knows his triggers. She spent years managing that back channel while simultaneously playing the damsel in distress for Kody. This documented history proves that Robyn is highly capable of running 2 narratives at once. She can play the devoted, terrified wife at home while quietly managing a separate reality behind the scenes. She did it in 2010, and she is entirely capable of doing it in 2026. Think about the psychology of this woman. She is watching Kody lose his grip on reality. She is watching Christine happily married to another man named David Woolley, living her best life, completely unbothered by Kody's tantrums. She is watching Janelle secure her own independence. She is watching Mary finally walk away and build a life of her own. Robyn is the only one left holding the bag. She is stuck with the debt, the angry husband, and the ruined reputation. The walls are closing in. And when the walls close in on Robyn Brown, she looks for a rescuer. Who else is left? Kody has alienated everyone in the polygamous community. Robyn has no other sister wives to leech off of. The only person from her past who understands the unique insanity of being married to a Brown is the man who escaped it years ago. Imagine the texts. Just picture what fans are speculating is happening on that phone. David, I'm so sorry about how the adoption happened. Kody forced my hand. He's out of control now. I just want the kids to know they're real family. It is the perfect manipulation. It frames Kody as the monster, which, let's be honest, wouldn't be hard to prove to anyone at this point. And it frames Robyn as the helpless mother who was just trying to survive a tyrannical patriarch. If she can convince David Jessop that she was just as much a victim of Kody's ego as he was, she instantly creates a wedge. And Kody is terrified of this. You can see it in how Kody talks about loyalty. Why is he so obsessed with blind loyalty? Because he knows deep down that if the money is gone, the loyalty is gone. He knows he bought Robyn's affection by solving her financial problems. Now that he is the one causing her financial problems, what is keeping her there? Nothing. And Kody is a paranoid man. If he even suspects that Robyn is texting her ex, the fallout would be nuclear. He spent a decade trying to prove he was the alpha male who saved David Jessop's family. To have that family quietly opening the door back up to David would absolutely destroy Kody's ego. It would be the final, crushing blow to his identity. And let's be real, the fans are here for it. The Reddit threads from June were filled with people saying, please let this be true. Not because anyone necessarily wants David Jessop back in the spotlight, but because the sheer, undeniable irony of Robyn leaving Kody for her ex-husband is the perfect ending to this reality television saga. It is the kind of writing you couldn't even make up for a scripted drama. The woman who came in and broke up a 30-year family structure, who manipulated the legal system to erase her ex, turning around and using that exact same manipulation to erase Kody. We are watching a masterclass in survival tactics. Robyn has always been playing chess while the rest of the family was playing checkers, but now she is running out of pieces. The TLC money isn't what it used to be. The Coyote Pass property is a financial anchor dragging them down, and Kody is a sinking ship. If there was ever a time for Robyn to reach into her past and pull out a wild card, it is right now. She knows that Kody is legally bound to her now. If she leaves, she takes half of whatever is left. And if she has a landing pad ready with David, or even just uses David to make Kody intensely jealous and paranoid so she can justify leaving, it is the ultimate game over for Kody Brown. So what happens next? If this Reddit theory holds water, and these rumors about her secret texts start leaking out into the mainstream, Kody is going to absolutely spiral. We've seen him lose his mind over Christine packing his boxes in the garage. Imagine his reaction to finding out his legal favorite wife is texting the man whose face he literally had painted over. It would be the most explosive confrontation in Sister Wives history. And frankly, it is exactly what Kody deserves. He built a house of cards on the backs of 3 women who genuinely loved him, all to protect one woman who only loved what he could provide. Now the provisions are gone. The illusion is shattered, and Robyn is standing there holding her phone, looking for the nearest exit. This entire situation is a ticking time bomb. The Browns are public figures, and their lives have been documented for over a decade. Every move they make is scrutinized. You can't just have a picture of David Jessop trend on the internet without it triggering a massive wave of digging from this fandom. And the more fans dig into those old divorce decrees, the more they realize that Robyn has always been the one steering her own ship, no matter who she runs over to get to safe harbor. Kody thought he was the captain. He thought he was saving her. But the reality is, he was just her life raft. And now that the raft is deflating, she is ready to swim away. I want to know what you guys think about this wild timeline. We know Robyn has a history of rewriting her own past, but do you think she is actually capable of going back to her ex-husband now that Kody's money is running dry? Or is she just using these back channels to stir up drama and secure an escape route? Sound off in the comments below. I read every single one of them, and I want to hear your theories on how this is going to end. And if you want to stay on top of every single breaking update, hidden detail, and deep dive into the Sister Wives universe, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are watching this empire fall in real time, and you are not going to want to miss what happens next.